Go.
Episode 40.
Hey everybody, welcome to Into the 99, because we have 99 cards and Commander is number 1. I am one of your hosts, Sherman.
I'm Hope.
I'm Daniel.
And again, I'm Brian.
And today we are gonna go and review the Ikoria set.
Yeah, we've already discussed Ikoria kind of at length with what's in it. We're going to do Ikoria and Commander 2020. They came out at the same time. We're just going to talk about the effect we think that they've had on the format, because there's so many cards that came out in such a short time. With the delayed release, we're a week or two out from the release of the next set. So it kind of doesn't really feel like many people got a big chance to play with these cards. There was online games, but now that stores are starting to open up, you're coming in, you're seeing your friends' decks again. So we just want to kind of talk a little bit about
The impact?
yeah, how the sets have impacted the game that we've been able to see. This isn't an all-encompassing thing. This is just from what we've seen. However, we play a lot of games, we stream lots, we play with many different metas. So I think we have an okay understanding of it.
Also to that end, I think you have to talk about Commander 20 when talking about Ikoria because they're so intertwined.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's from the plane alone, right?
Exactly. It's not just having themed decks coming out at this time. They are Ikoria decks.
Yeah, they
coming
are
out at this
Ikoria
time.
themed commander decks. Great
Exactly.
commander decks, I'll say, straight out of the box.
They're pretty cool.
But yeah, let's get into it first. Let's just talk before we even go into the cards. Let's just talk about our quick individual opinions on if it was a good or bad set for it. I'll let Sir Sherman start here.
I think it was a fantastic set for Commander players. I personally am, like, how can I say it? I love the set, but at the same time, I'm upset about the set. And I'll explain that later on, but that's how I feel right now.
Okay, Brian.
So far, I've played lots of different games, and I've used new decks that I built that have a majority of Ikoria cards in it. I really enjoyed the set, and I have to agree that it is more of a commander set than I would say in standard. But then again, I've never really played standard, so.
Cool.
Yeah, pretty much the same. I mean, obviously, it's a lot better for Commander. This set was really made for Commander players. A lot of the cards that are really good in it are really Commander focused, or not super viable in Standard or Modern or anything like that. But I would say also that I find that the power creep in this set was kind of
Insane.
yeah. But however, for me at least, a lot of the support that was brought in from this set with cats and whatnot is real delightful. I was very happy.
I overall think that it was just a pretty good set, but I have to agree with everyone else. This wasn't standard designed. This was for commander players almost entirely. You had fetchable triome lands, that's not that great in standard.
Not to say that there are no standard viable cards in the set, because there certainly are.
There are,
However,
for sure.
it's not standard focused.
But
and
that's
I
just
think
it. This was
thing.
for commander players.
Well, I think that's something that that Wizards seems to be focusing on for this year in general, is that a lot of the sets coming out, I expect that Zendikar is going to be the same. A lot of the stuff in the core set,
We still have the
That's been
draftable,
Commander
stuff.
Legends come
a
out.
lot of it is definitely very Commander focused.
I'm trying to think of how Ikoria, because standard's the last 3 sets.
Yeah, I
I'm
believe
I'm trying
so.
to really think
No,
Is
it's
it 4?
like 6.
I thought it was only 4.
No.
None of us play standard.
Yeah,
we're not
I
very
don't know.
knowledgeable.
We don't know.
But just even
It's
thinking
at
about
least
trying to
6.
see
Hope does actually work at an LGS, so she has probably a better understanding of it.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to figure how does Ikoria fit into the rest of the sets
Yeah.
to really for you brewing those standard decks were these really viable?
I looked it up. Hope's wrong. It's 4. The last 4 sets.
No.
I see it right here.
It's all the way. Commander 2020. Sorry,
Or Core 2020?
Core 2020 is still illegal.
So maybe you're looking at the new rotation when it comes?
Yeah, who knows?
Because when Core 21 comes out, then it's going to be rotate, right?
Yeah.
So, anyways,
I'm
we're getting
just
off topic
telling
here.
you.
But so out of
I don't.
Ikoria,
Yeah, let's be real. What do I care about standard?
I could be wrong. I'm also
You
still
are
looking.
wrong.
So with Ikoria and the new commander sets, does anyone have a favorite card?
The Ozolith.
The Ozolith is so good.
Really, really
Love
I
that
actually got
card.
to use it for the first time yesterday.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I put it into a deck finally. I didn't draw it, but it's in there.
Oh, I have it in my Trin Silvar deck.
I have it in my Traxa deck. Perfect.
Sylvar died. He came back with 4 more
Yeah.
+1/+1s.
Didn't matter.
Yeah.
The Ozolith is just a amazing card. That is
Awesome.
one of the best cards printed, I think, in Magic. Well, especially in recent sets for it. There's any deck that uses counters should have that Ozolith in it because like if you have if you have something like a Trin and Sylvar we just talked about, Atraxa, any counter-based commander that wants to, like Polokranos, for example,
Oh, yeah.
any of those things.
Hydras.
Yeah, any Hydra
Hydras,
deck.
yeah.
Anything that's putting counters on creatures, you want that because they just come back out so strong.
That'd be
$6
funny.
million creature.
But like
Yeah.
that's funny because like you can do that with Hydras, you can do it with like a mass tokens, or token.
You
I
can do it with
guess.
anything.
You can't have multiple.
I think mine would have to be the species specialist.
That is a great card.
What's that one?
So when it comes in, it costs 3 or 4.
Two,
it's 1
I think
black.
it's 2 black.
Oh, 2 black.
I believe.
So
Don't quote me.
I think it might be 3 and a black. But so when it comes into play, you get to choose a creature type.
Mhm.
Whenever a creature of the chosen type die, you get a draw card.
Ooh.
Oh,
So
interesting.
so him in Trin and Sylvar, I get to create all my tokens, and I'm able to essentially
It's significant card draw,
sack
yeah.
them, draw the card. Got to put the Broodmoth out.
Nice.
Sack
Oh.
all of those creatures.
Oh.
Well, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about when you mentioned the favorite card. How do you pick a favorite card when there was so
So
many
many.
good cards?
Oh, it's 2 black.
All of the commander precons that let you cast it for free, those cards.
Oh,
Oh,
those
yeah.
were
The
really
free
good.
counter
All
spell.
of them were significantly good. Deflecting Swat, I believe, is the weakest one, and that's still a great card.
Yeah, for red.
Yeah, so like there was...
What
there
does
was,
that one do?
It's like a
it-
retreat.
Yeah, it lets you change the target of spells for free.
Still.
Yeah, so
For free.
it's pretty good. Like it's definitely the weakest. Like it's no
But it's
no
still a-
counter target creature
But it's
spell
still a
one.
free spell.
Yep.
Yeah, as long as your commander's out, it's free.
All of my creatures get indestructible.
We
The
talked
white
about this slightly on the last episode, but I liked every one of the partners except for 2 of them. I thought that was great as a returning mechanic, and they basically are. It's Ikoria stuff. It's all the same, but I think that this set brought a lot of fatigue to players, not in just the cost of it, because I don't think the cost was absurd for what you were getting, but with just how much people wanted to build this, because there's so many things to build. All of the commander options you got in the precons were amazing alone. So there's 5 of them, all of them with 3. So you had just a ton already of commander options that were suddenly viable, new deck archetypes. We got Mutate, we got all that stuff. And that's before you consider any of the singular cards from Ikoria, which were also good. Like you had the Brokos, you had Nathori, you had so many, Aluna. There's just so many things to build in this set before you look at just the multicolored ones alone.
And this is really the first set where they've come out with or first or second set where they have multiples of different cards and all different arts and full art foils.
There's so many different things. It's just
Mhm.
like, yeah.
There's a lot to offer in this
Yeah.
deck.
The comic
Or
book
in
arts
this
are really
set.
cool. One of my other favorite cards in this set was the new Vivian. I also
Oh,
love.
so good.
She's awesome.
So good.
Her passive is great. And do you mind reading her, sweetheart?
Oh, yeah, it's you may look at the top card of your library at any time. You can cast creatures from the top of your library, so amazing. It's +1, protects itself, which I always say is one of the strongest things a Planeswalker can do.
Yep.
+1, create a 3/3 green beast token, then you choose a mode. You put a choice of a vigilance, reach, or trample counter on it, so you protect yourself from whatever you really need to.
Yep.
3/3 bodies, nothing to scoff at, especially for a +1. And it's -2 whenever you cast your next creature. Search your library for a creature with lesser CMC, put it on the battlefield, and shuffle. And that's an ability that can go off the first time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's a tutor.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. It's a
It's-
tutor with passive abilities.
Oh,
It's awesome.
it's just
The
significantly good.
versatility of it is
Yeah.
enormous.
That's awesome. Also, the Mythos of Snapdax. That.
Oh.
Bessie.
I think that is that. Well, and that's just the thing, right? When we're looking through this, there's just so many things that are the power scale was real for sure, because like you have things like Colossification. That's just crazy. Oh, it taps your creature. Boo hoo. Attack with Sovereign, the Alara Sovereign that puts aura onto your attacking creature with Exalted, and you're not really worried. Jacob's hit me with that in Rafik many times right now.
Yeah.
There's just so many. Even Extinction Event. choose odd or even, exile all creatures with the chosen CMC.
Yeah.
That is a amazing card, and that can really, really run the table on token decks.
I was gonna say it absolutely annihilates token decks.
And there's just so many. Like the big problem with this set was that it brought too much to upgrade. Anyone who had a commander deck, and I mean this sincerely, any singular commander deck could have found an upgrade in this set.
Oh yeah.
It's insane because like I haven't been able to update any of my decks lately.
Me either, Sherman. I feel you.
And then watching everyone play the streams, and I played a little bit of streams, and I haven't really updated my decks yet. And it's just the power scale is enormous. Like the gap is enormous. I'm just like, okay, like I need to find time to sit down,
rip
sort
apart my
cards,
decks,
rip them apart, like and then like I have my own personal reasons like why I love this set and why I hate it, and why I hate it is very, very personal. But like I love this set because like if you're just starting Magic, what better year? Okay, granted, like we have the virus going on and everything, but like if you're trying to get in, what better year to get into it than right now when the power is huge? You buy all these cards, and you're already set.
Well, I have to agree with you there too. Like any of these, I've said these are the best commander decks out of the box, flat out. And just when you buy any of them, they're powerful enough to sit at most tables.
The Soul Ring and the Arcane Signet.
Yeah,
that's
the ramp
insane.
package alone in them is great. Like they were all very valuable for what you got in them. And yeah, like this is good enough to sit down with a normal play group, play it. You can tune it. You could make a pretty viable commander arsenal of decks out of only the Commander 2020 and Ikoria.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if you want to improve them, like you can like swap out a few like a dozen cards for
$20
cheap.
here, 20, nothing
and
super major.
you're good to go. It's insane.
Well, and even just buying this set alone, things like Migration Path is a significant upgrade to many cards that already exist. Things like Wilt are upgrades to a Naturalize. Like these you're not only coming in at a great time for it, but you're coming in with, if somebody hadn't bought any of these, you have upgraded cards that do more.
Yeah. Well, and they're staples,
Oh,
like
yeah.
they're cards that you're gonna use like from this set onwards, and you're gonna keep bringing them forward with you. Like these are cards that are gonna retain their value to you in your decks.
These cards are going to be around for a while.
Yeah.
Luminous Broodmoth's not going anywhere.
That card is wild.
Especially in a sack. Like, so I did play one game where they did this to me.
Mm-hmm.
I was very upset with it. But Luminous Broodmoth sacrificed every single creature on their board. I'm pretty sure it was 8. I'm pretty sure they had out like some of the sacrifice aristocrats.
Mm-hmm.
So I was taking damage for every single thing sacrificed. Then they came back with a flying counter.
Yeah.
Oh, the creatures, exactly. It's a big threat for the board wipe stuff, but on top of that, I've seen people already build it into the infinity where they put Solemnity out and they just continuously sack it to a Phyrexian Altar, infinite mana, and then, go with a finishing spell.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Finish him.
Yeah. Usually the finales.
I did it
How
with
devastating.
I did it with my Sylvar. I sacrificed all my creatures, had out Species Specialist, drew 6 cards, did 6 damage because of Bastion of Remembrance.
Yep.
Sylvar got +6/+6, indestructible, swung.
Even talking Bastion of Remembrance, that's just an amazing card for any deck that's killing creatures.
It's 3. It's the same. One more higher than Blood Artist.
But it comes in with a token, does it not?
Yep. Yeah. You got to create a 1/1 human.
And then also there's a card that a lot of people overlooked as valuable, Farfinder. That's a fox. It's a 1/1 vigilance
so
for 3, and it's colorless. It can go into any deck. When it enters, search your library for a basic land, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle.
There's
There's
overlook them.
so many cards, or so many decks that need something like that. So many, I'm in mono red, I'm in mono white, and I don't really have that land fetch that I need. It's a great card.
And like that's a common.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You're gonna crack them. Even if you buy like a couple packs, you're gonna get one. Probably.
Oh, yeah.
Most likely, if not, someone can just give it to you. Because like you buy a booster box and you're gonna have like 6 copies.
Yeah.
Who cares if you just give one away?
Yeah.
I feel like we'd be doing a disservice if we didn't talk specifically companions. So, number one, I think that the new rule change for companions balances the cards a lot better. I'm a lot less unhappy with it. The rule change now is that you can bring them to your hand at sorcery speed for 3 mana. It's okay. It breaks them a little less. I really don't like 101st card. I still have actually not personally seen anyone play a companion in Commander.
No.
I've seen them
Not in
play
our-
as commanders.
Yeah.
I've 2 games so far where they've brought them to their camp.
Okay. Like I said, I haven't seen
Which
many
one?
people do it.
Would have been the octopus guy, the blue one.
Garuda.
Yeah.
Garuda.
Monty played that one against me, and like it was just the other one. Was the black red one, the like centipede.
Obosh.
Yeah.
Obosh is strong.
It's pretty cool.
Like the companion mechanic was interesting. I'll have to admit, and it's like it's nice to see people trying it out. I personally do prefer it as the actual commander.
Yeah, commander
So-
or in the deck.
Yeah, like
yeah.
I want to put Kahira in my cat deck.
Yeah.
And
That's
that's
where I
the-
would prefer to see that.
Yeah.
Either that use them as your commander, because again, the very first thing that we argued, it's a 100-to-1 card.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think when we initially talked about them in the first episode when we were talking spoilers, I think Sherman was right on it. That, yeah, of course, they're supposed to give you a bonus for building your deck specifically, but that's how we all build Commander already. We already build it specifically.
Yeah.
So, like, you're already building your jank 0-cost deck. You're already building your everything's even. If you're Sherman, your everything's got a book in it. People already do that. They already build with the color restrictions. We already have accepted as a group, I can't put this hybrid mana in even though I'd love to, right?
Yeah.
So,
And one of the guys that we were playing, I played with last night, was mentioning that he likes more restrictions. So he did enjoy building with the companions for that added restriction too.
but that's what I mean.
Can I make this playable?
You can already do that, right? Like, I build a lot of decks that are, for lack of any better word, horrible. But it's because I like a theme. I get onto a theme, and I'm like, well, I'm going to build my Eula Bear deck, and let's see where this goes.
Yeah.
Right?
It goes pretty good.
It's
Yeah.
an okay deck.
It goes, it flies.
But,
Flying bears.
like we've got to talk initially outright. Like, so Zerda just is a competitive commander. I haven't seen really anyone play it in a non-competitive way, except for I have seen one deck when I was just scrolling YouTube, and somebody had built a really interesting Voltron equipment deck,
Yeah.
and that was pretty cool. But
Yeah.
because you get to attach your things for significantly cheaper. That was cool, but the ability to go infinite with Basalt, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I have to say that Zerda full art foil. Ugh.
Oh.
I saw it yesterday in the case and I almost bought it.
Still
How much was it?
means it's still there.
There's
Thank you.
$30 for that.
Stop by on your way home.
It's,
Yeah.
not a, it's not a
exactly.
horrible one. I might go buy it. I'll race Brian.
Yeah,
So-
good luck.
Slash your tire, slash
Yeah.
your tire, slash your tire.
And just as we discussed and played, and we're going through the set, like me and Daniel talk all day from 6 in the morning.
Yes, you
You
do.
get
till
it. You
when
love
we go
each
to bed.
other. We know.
The new bromance.
And this card we have mentioned numerous times talking is the Verge Ranger. 2 and a white. It's a human scout. First strike, 3/3. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. As long as your opponent controls more lands than you, you may play a land from the top of your library.
Yeah,
So,
it's,
so
What?
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, that was
Oh my god! How did I not even notice that? What
like it's
rarity
similar
is that?
to
It's rare.
similar. Yeah, it's one of the commander cards. It's similar to almost a
And it's first strike.
I keep Oracle of Moldiah without the extra land, but like think how good Oracle of Moldiah is. Think how
But-
often you can play lands from the top of your deck. I did it probably 18 times yesterday.
You sure did. But this is in white.
Yeah. So they're definitely
Oh my
they're
God.
definitely listening to the people that play.
Yeah.
Saying like, hey, like white should have more of this, like a little bit more support. I like the fact that they're adding in like 1 or 2 cards
Needs
here and
more
there.
now.
But I hope that they don't like flood the colors. Like if you're lacking in something for a color, I hope they don't flood it. So I don't want to see the next 5 or 6 cards mana ramp for white.
Well, that's the. Go ahead, you.
Oh, I was gonna say that's something that we actually discussed yesterday. Was that just because like all the colors have strengths and weaknesses?
Yep.
And you don't want to make red act like green because green is green.
Well,
so if red acted like green,
well,
why-
part of what we were talking about specifically in it is I said, like, they're not going to print a cultivate for blue, a mono blue cultivate,
No.
because that would be bonkers, right? Like, there has to be a limit on the balance. And, like, I have the opposite stance. I don't think they should listen to the player base because the player base doesn't test and design. They only know what works for their
True.
meta.
It's true.
And they only, you know what I mean? Like, some things that are super strong in what we play would just be, like, horrible in other people's meta.
I'm sorry, but it doesn't seem like Wizards plays their cards either with the instant bans that have happened here.
But
Well,
you
that's-
have to remember, they're trying to make cards for different formats, and it's difficult to.
What was there? There was 2 cards that were banned right off the hop.
The best way to look at the companion is that out of this entire set, the companions were the only things not designed for Commander.
Yes.
The companions were designed to get people who don't play Commander to
play-
want to play
play
Commander,
Commander.
right? So that's why you had the immediate Lutri ban. Lutri was never built for Commander. They knew immediately that there's no way that nonsense was going to fly. However, for people who are playing like standard sets or anything like that, suddenly you've got a Commander-esque ability where you could have just like played it from outside of the game and you're like, oh, like this is pretty cool.
Yeah, you have a singleton 60 card deck.
Yeah, now let's make it to 100.
Just before we get off that, Lutri though, ugh,
I love
such a
Lutri.
nice art.
Oh, well, and that's the thing. I'm
French
still
kiss.
going to, again, back to the deck building fatigue. I built so many new decks when this all came out, and I haven't just gotten around to do it. I'm going to build Lutri, and I don't care if anyone wants to play against
I'm
it.
going to
playing
build a
it.
really garbagey Karuga deck because I
Yeah.
love him also.
I'm going to play it as my commander.
He is a dinosaur hippo. You can't tell me that I don't need that in my life.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I'm going to build that deck, and if people whine, then I'll just play full Counterspell Cabinet and see how they want to play Lutri now.
Mean.
It's called poor sportsmanship. Look it up. But
At least you know and you can admit it.
oh yeah, holding a grudge, that's my specialty.
But then also like in the set, we got even more mana ramp. Like we got all those new crystals.
I
Yeah.
was going to say the crystals also have to be talked about.
Totally.
Those
The-
crystals in foil.
Well, just the crystals and triomes alone, I believe flat out have made Commander more accessible for people. I say it all the time. If I didn't have to pay for any of the lands in my decks, I would have significantly more decks. We'll just say, like the land base is always going to be what's expensive, and the better your land base is, and the more you want it to go off, the better it is. And look before this set, look before Arcane Signet to get that color ability. You needed so much investment, right? And now we have like our better cultivate with Migration Path. We have Arcane Signets that came in these decks. We have those crystals. We have the triomes. Those made the deck better. And like you said, the Verge Rangers. Like there's definitely things that are ramping it out. The mana in the Commander decks was a pretty good one. Like that, I
Not
would say is an
bad.
upgraded.
You got a lot of those rare lands that
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
ones that you have to have 2 or more basic lands that they come into play tap. Like you actually got those in the deck.
If they had sold almost like a basic version of the Commander deck and an upgraded version of this would be the upgraded version, and I would have been happy to pay a slight premium saying that this was the upgraded version because it was that good.
Don't give them ideas.
Out of the box, that was,
Strip that.
but you know what I mean. Out of the box, like these were just amazing cards. I had a blast playing Gavi. I think that's the most fun I've ever had playing any pre-con deck.
Out of the box?
Yeah, out of the box. I just pulled Gavi out. I wanted to test it out, and I had a blast.
I need those dinosaur cats in my life.
I
cute?
probably played 3 games before I even edited that deck a single time.
Yeah.
And it was a blast, and I still want to rip that deck
Was
apart.
it a blast, though?
Yeah, it was a blast. I can't get over how much fun I had with that pre-con deck, and I never would have thought like, hey, like I want a cycling commander in my life. It never would have crossed my mind.
Yeah. And is it in Jeskai colors?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
It's just like not something that you play.
it's just what's the word?
What?
Ah, blast.
Just to throw out this question then, out of the 5, what would be your go-to?
Oh, that's well, I ripped all of them apart.
No, so we're going
If
to
you had
we're
to pick
talking-
one of the Commander
going,
sets.
No,
What?
we're going to go
Oh.
off of the face commander.
Let me
The
see.
face commanders?
Okay.
So we
okay,
have
yeah.
Otrimi, Cathril, Gavi,
I've played Cathril. I have seen
Calamax.
Otrini
Ooh, let
play.
me interrupt this.
and Jarina.
I'd really, really like to go through this and everyone's opinion of this, the second commanders and the partners. Let's do that.
Okay, so of the main face,
Face commander,
commander.
Sherman,
Catherine.
go.
Oh,
I don't know because I haven't played with any of them, but I would have to say I would want to play or get Otrimi. Otrimi is
The mutate?
Yeah, it's an interesting ability. The mutate cost is only 4 for a 6/6.
yeah.
Okay, so and like I want to be I'm trying to build a Brokos deck, but I have so many other ideas.
Yeah.
But like this is something that I would want to do. I want to try and play more mutate.
Yeah.
Because it is such an interesting concept, and you know me, I like weird abilities.
And also, the Sultai colors give you lots of good options for mutate
Yeah.
creatures from the set. So
I definitely know Brian's, but Brian, go.
Oh, I want to hear what you think mine
It's
is.
Cathril,
Oh,
obviously.
the one that I've played, yeah.
mine's also
Multiple times?
Catherine.
Though being able to like get
Throw
my
down like 6 different counters on it.
well, no, like I have to. So this is different for me because I don't typically put stuff into my graveyard.
Yeah, it's not,
I don't
it's not
play
where you
any-
go.
Yeah,
any
you're
of
not a
those-
graveyard boy.
Yeah. So, but being able to put those in and then play my commander, and then I get every single ability of any of the abilities that are in my graveyard.
What?
Fantastic. And then when they die,
Yeah.
and I have the Ozolith out,
You
and
lose
I go,
nothing.
I'm gonna just move this.
Watching Brian read the second half of the card in the middle of a game where
That
he
was
realized it
so
also
funny.
put 1/1 counters on it.
He didn't read it. I told
He
him.
thought they were just getting the abilities and he
Yeah,
was
and then
excited.
I was
Wait
like-
till
I
then
was
it came
like-
in with 12.
I was like, and your dice? And he's just like, what? And I was like, the 1/1s? And he's like, what?
What are you talking about?
And then he's like, oh my god.
yeah.
It was amazing.
Did you say Cathril
Yeah,
was
I
yours
loved-
as well?
I loved
Is that
Cathril.
yours, Brian? Was that the right one?
Yeah.
I thought so.
What's yours?
Gavi.
Gavi?
Gavi was just a blast. As a face commander, I think it was the strongest.
Yeah, very cool.
Favorite
That-
deck with tokens in it?
That whole
Gavi.
deck was built. I think for the face commanders, that deck was built the best. A lot of these
Yeah,
commanders, like I said,
I
they were
agree.
great decks, but they were a little unfocused because they gave you a little bit of everything for each of these.
Yeah, because they have to.
But Gavi's, like the Gavi deck is just like built right into it. I think that deck had like, when I counted, it was significantly higher land than everything else. It was like 40 or 50 because they
Oh
had
my god.
so much with cycling because it was just,
Oh, I guess.
yeah,
yeah,
you
'cause you have to
cycle
cycle
everything for
lands,
free
right?
and draw so much.
Yeah.
The only downfall that I thought with the Cathril precon was that most of them were big creatures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have anything to say pitch from my hand
Yeah, well, and
to
that's
get
the
rid
thing.
of them.
Once you upgrade the Cathril, then it's just monster.
Yeah.
And again, I've only maybe changed 4 cards.
Yeah, and it's a fun deck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the weakest would be Calamax of all of them.
Oh, yeah.
Calamax as the deck sits, but Calamax
Yeah.
as a commander itself is so exciting, and that's
I'm
one
working on it.
Yeah, that's one that I am not even building because Hope wants to build that one. So
That's fair.
I'm leaving that one alone. I've already stripped all of the other commander options out of that
And I
built
have
them.
already torn it apart, so.
But yeah, so let's go into the second commanders.
What are the second ones?
Kelsey the Plague, Xerus the Writhing Storm, Tayam Luminous Enigma, Akeem the Soaring Wind, and Zexara the Exemplary.
What? I feel like Zexara is the one that yeah, that's the Hydra one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zexara. Hell
Oh.
yeah.
Turn order priority.
No, I'm
Sherman
gonna go
first.
first.
She won the role.
She won the roll.
Which one would you choose here, Sherman?
I don't know. Probably Jarina, to be honest.
No. Second row. Second row.
Oh, sorry. Second row.
Second row, not the face
no.
commanders.
That's right.
Kelsey and Xerus, Tayam, Akeem, or Zexara.
No, Akeem looks like the funnest. I haven't really looked at them, but Akeem, yeah, I probably would do that one.
Akeem the Soaring Wind.
Yeah.
I have
That's
to
the bird?
Yeah.
What does he do again?
Well, it's 3/4 flying. Okay, whenever you create one or more tokens for the first time each turn, create a 1/1 white bird token with flying. And for 3 blue, red, white creature tokens you control gain double strike to enter turn.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, but you're in Jeskai colors,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I like.
You
You're
can make a lot of cool tokens.
yeah,
there.
Yeah.
You're not in green.
And
Yeah.
like Calcian would shoot them from the sky.
You would hope, but it is me though. I would come up with some
Is that
weird-
the one you're choosing there? Kelsian?
Sorry, experience counters just to make them bigger, and I bolt your frigging birds.
Read
Yeah.
it?
Kelsian is a 2/2 Vigilance Haste. Gets 1/1 for each experience counter you have, and it deals 1 damage to target creature you don't control. When it dies, you get an experience counter.
Oh, so every time it dies, you get experience. Can you proliferate experience?
You sure can.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, so it's
Very
it's
nice.
pretty good, and the fact that he gets 1/1 for each experience counter you have does make him a threat pretty quickly. I've seen him get out of hand.
If you technically played it, and I'd say he was in the 99 and not your commander, but you played a commander that used experience.
Yep,
counters.
you would sue.
Still
Oh!
counts.
Yeah.
Yep, you can.
But
You can
experience
on.
counters are on the player.
yeah, you can play 5-color things that have experience counters in them.
But would
You like that, Brian?
which commander
Dropping him like
could you-
further into the game, and
You could play something like Golos even and just make it experience counter proliferate.
Ah, okay, yeah, I can see that.
You could
now.
make a Golos proliferate deck pretty easy. Put in
You
a
can make
Roach.
a goal with whatever you want to.
Yeah,
That's
Golos
true.
is.
Golos just seems OP.
OP.
Mine for this obviously Xeris the Writhing Storm. I think
Yeah.
that this is
Yeah.
one of the best designed cards.
The snake.
Yeah, the flying snake. It's first off, I said this yesterday when we were doing a video about this yesterday. I think that this is the best thing. It's the only viable,
The best thing?
the best snake commander. Sorry,
Oh, the only snake commander?
yeah, the only viable one. Like it's every other snake is not great.
Yeah.
They're pretty bad as a tribe.
We
But
need some snake lords up in here, wizards.
But this one, oh man, like you were just, first off, you're in Temur colors, you have a 3/5 flyer for 5, already pretty good stats. It kind of forces you a little bit into a bit of a group hug dynamic, because whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you and that player draw that many cards, which is a pretty easy politics tool, like, hey, I want to swing out, I need some card draw. Sherman, let me hit you for 3, you draw 3. All right, no problem, because it's not threatening, it's not double strike, it's nothing crazy. But whenever an opponent draws a card except for the first one in their draw step, you make a snake token. So I just loved this deck. I built it so wheel and deal. Every time I've played it, I've had 80 snake tokens out on the table. You do something like Mages of the Wheel and sack it, and then you draw 21, or you make 21 snakes.
Yeah,
it's
and you have
so fun.
Perforos out. It's fine.
Sometimes you have Perforos out, sometimes you kill the table with a wheel. That's just how the game goes.
Sometimes it's like a lot of time with you.
No, that was my bad.
Gobble. Yeah, Brian. The first game I ever played it, Brian had a
So
ability to exile a card from my hand.
Chose the wrong one.
Yeah, he definitely he left Perforos alone.
And
We're-
obviously
everyone
I'm
at the
sitting there
table-
like,
No.
Everyone was yelling at
I'm
me.
like, I'll let Brian play this however he wants to play it.
I was
because
holding
he's an
like
adult.
3. I was holding 3 wheels. Like I had like Windfall and stuff in my hand and Perforos. And Brian's just like, yeah, I'll throw. I can't remember what you threw out.
Like,
But he
what,
left
man?
Perforos, and then I wheeled once.
Got
and
rid
I-
of Minds Aglow.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was magical. I wheeled the table and this and everything, and everyone's like, okay, it resolves. I was like, so that's like 41 damage with Perforos, or 42 damage. Everyone's like, what? It was significant.
It was not cool.
Yeah, it was 42 because I made 21 snakes.
As the kids say, not as bueno.
Loved it. But yeah, I just think that this was just such a well-designed card. You can ramp it so well with green. Blue, everyone knows, can draw every card in your deck, no problem.
The door.
And just, again, like, you're not punished for the group hug things. You're getting... This is the strongest group hug commander, in my opinion. Kenrith's real good. There's some other good ones, but I think that this is the strongest. Rites of Flourishing, everyone gets to play an extra land, but you're getting a snake token. Howling Mine, you're getting a snake token, everyone gets to draw it. This was... I just love everything about the design of this card. I think that for the entire set, this is my favorite card.
Oh, wow.
I loved it.
Ooh.
Wow.
So next it's on to
The
our
Plutnas.
favorite partners.
Whatness?
Mine's easy. Braylon and Shabazz.
Sky Shark.
Sky
My
Shark.
absolute worst nightmare.
Like,
They should make a TV show about it.
yeah. It has white in it, but that's not a big deal. It's the fact that, is it colors? Okay. Like,
Well, it just means that you can play Teferi's protection and
and
all those
and all
protection
that
Yeah.
stuff, and like better and like really good removal. But like you guys saw we talked about my deck tech. It's just like drawing and discarding, and I'm using that as like combat tricks. That's
Yep.
it.
So mine would be Trin and Sylvar.
Of course.
And I actually had a conversation with someone about this on Twitter. So they said that Sylvar they would prefer Sylvar to have haste.
Are they
No.
insane?
And I was
too
just
strong.
like I was like, okay, maybe if he came in as a 2/2 haste, But I was like, with Menace, I was like...
Well, that's the thing. Haste wouldn't be bad if he didn't have Menace, but Haste with Menace is too much.
And he's a 4/2, and that's too much damage.
Yep.
So,
Well,
that's what I was
That's a
saying.
lot
If
of damage.
if you weaken him to the point that you need to start getting those...
Even if he was a
errors on,
1/1 with haste and menace.
Let's be real. Menace on a damage-based commander is terrifying. I'm sure, because Brian has a Trin Silvar deck. I have a Trin Silvar deck. I have clocked people for significant damage because they only had one creature, and they don't remember that it's that, and they're like, oh, I've got a 15/15, and I'm like, well, that's not two creatures.
Yeah, so I played it yesterday, and I was playing with two other players.
Mhm.
One person had a dip, so I left that one person with his commander only out. I was like,
You're like, well, hello.
Who cares?
Yeah, we picked up because he couldn't block it.
Hello, my friend.
Yeah.
Well, and that's especially with commander damage, it's pretty bad if you can get that through.
Matt, if you actually listen to this episode, I'm still salty about that game.
Yeah.
Should have killed you.
If you think about everything, because before when I don't know about you guys, when I started playing Commander damage wasn't a big deal. No one really cared about it. Now it's so viable.
It's a whole deck archetype, yeah.
I don't think I've ever lost to commander damage.
Hope killed you.
I
with
killed
Trin-
your commander damage the other day.
Oh, yeah.
with Silvar. I've definitely killed you with commander damage more than once.
Because you had
Remember when I was
out.
playing? I can't. The
You have
what is it?
like
The
130
next time,
decks.
yes. I have terrible
the
memories.
the ones that make the Saproline tokens, the partners.
Oh,
partners.
partners. Wait. Stop
Yeah,
focusing on
it's
partners.
one of them. It's red green. Whenever you deal combat damage, make that many Saprolines. And then I have the one that's creatures with power 2 or less can't be.
Oh God, what are they?
Yeah, I don't know
I know
why-
what you're talking about.
I don't know why I
Oh,
can't think of these.
My brain hurts.
People will leave it in the comments. Is this what
Yeah,
you fools?
somebody, please, yeah.
I
Too
have-
early in the morning.
I have too many magic decks.
I know what you're talking about, though.
I'm just gonna look it up because my brain isn't working this early in the morning.
We'll move on real quickly. At the same time, we'll come back. Hope, which one's your favorite?
No, I already found it.
Oh, never mind. Hang on. Time
It's-
out.
It's a partner deck that has Sidar and then Tana the Bloodsower. Brian
Oh, yes.
Brian was a monster threat in this game. It's one of the ones posted, and he blocked. I was gonna get through with a little bit of trample damage. Yeah, and he had all these huge creatures that he could buff up. His mana tapping for 12. Brian was the tyrant of the table. I swung, and then I ended up pumping it like something like 40 double strike to roll through his huge creature and kill him with the commander damage. And I hit him for like, it was like something like 80 damage, and it only 21 of it rolled over, but it was enough.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
I remember that. 'cause
I've definitely killed you with commander
I
damage.
remember the
that's a big
aftermath.
grown
Of,
game.
yeah, I remember the aftermath of that, of you being like, "Oh my god!"
I was like,
You probably pulled.
I could have like blocked with everything, but nope.
But yeah, my favorites are also Trin and Silvar. I think that's been made abundantly clear.
You gotta feed the cat.
I love Kiddies. I also love.
You love the lore.
Yeah, I love the lore. I love playing Mardu. So that's the other thing.
We commissioned a custom token actually for Trin and Silvar. Do you want to say the artist?
Yeah, it's Red Panda Meg on Instagram. She's actually one of my tattoo artists, so that was really cool.
And she does a lot of these really cool art styles where it's just the muscle and bone of animals, and she made us one of those.
And people.
Yeah, so it's like a flayed human about to be sacrificed to Silvar because that's what the
Very
humans in the deck are.
Yeah.
And we cannot wait to print those and have some giveaways with
They're
them.
cat food.
They are cat food. Human cat food is what we should put the creature
Yeah.
type.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what made me laugh when I saw EDH Tiffany's story.
Oh yeah, she's
Her
so funny.
whiting out the human, writing
Yeah.
cat food on
Yeah,
it.
she's really funny.
Very creative. Very creative.
So many name drops in this episode.
For me, well, we like the people
We
who
got a
are
really
friends
cool
with us.
community. Yeah.
Yeah, we do have a great community. I would say that my favorites are so hard to pick, but they have to be Halden and Paco. I love that
Fetch.
deck.
What a good
Whoa.
boy.
I played that deck yesterday. I got my Defense of the Heart win off on turn 4 or 5.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and so everyone's sitting there and they're like, well, I'm going to try to figure it out. And I'm holding Veil of Summer, 2 counter spells, and then the if you control your commander counter spell. I was like, well, you're going to have some interesting answers.
I mean, everyone wasn't trying to figure it out.
Well, only one of us was, yeah.
I was just watching you amused.
Hope knew exactly what was happening as soon as I put Defense of the Heart down.
Yeah, as soon as you put Defense of the Heart down, I already had 2 creatures out, and then I brought out new Purpros, the Bronze-Blooded, and he was a creature, and I looked at Daniel, I'm like, this is a creature?
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know why that works,
3?
Listen to the other episode.
Yeah.
But Paco and Halden, I just love, no matter how you build them. There's, in my opinion, no way to build them wrong. They're so fun. I just love playing. Everyone else's deck is really fun. You don't have to make it competitive like mine.
No.
It's a great budget competitive starter, but it's also just a fun deck to play.
And we're even looking forward to seeing Hayden's, our one of our new writers. He's making Halden and Paco.
Yeah,
deck too.
exactly.
Fun.
He wrote that the other day. He's like, I'm making a Halden and Paco deck tag. I was like, I cannot wait to see it because like there's so many ways to build it, and it's just really fun to play other people's cards. Like I love the chaos elements of that. I love to see what I'm going to hit off my own deck.
I just love chaos in general. Chaos is probably my absolute favorite thing in Magic. Is anything chaos themed, I'm so here for it.
Unless
I love
it's
it
Warp
so
World.
much. I love
like
that
Warp
kind of
World.
nonsense.
When it ends a game.
Yeah.
If it ends the game, I'm fine, but when it does, it is so annoying.
I only cast Warp World in one deck, and it's in my Windgrace, and that's, again, when I have like 40 zombies, and I'm going to kill the table with landfall triggers. I've never failed to... Oh, that's not true. I have almost never failed to end the game. Connor did Whirlwind Denial me. I'll never get over that.
Yeah,
So funny.
That's so awesome.
But yeah, short of that, like I don't know, I don't mind Warp World, but you cast Thieves Auction, we're not friends. Oh, I cannot stand dividing everything up like that. That's the number one way to not get invited to play with your play group.
Just put everything
Hey,
in
yeah,
one pile.
we're just not going out tonight, guys. Don't worry.
So, is there a card that you absolutely hate out of this?
I wish Snapdax was better. That's my straight out opinion. I did not really like Snapdax just overall. I wish it was better.
No one can see you raising your hand.
You
Hope.
guys
gotta-
It's a cue for us.
In all fairness, I didn't personally think that any of the big monsters. I didn't think that any of the big monsters really like spoke to me. Like I know the Brokos is objectively good, and so is Nethroi, but I'm not big on Mutate, so I was just like, eh.
Yeah, Mutate didn't really
It's
resonate
just
with me.
yeah, exactly. I take the words right out of my mouth. Why don't you? I was just gonna say like this is a mechanic that I thought would really be up my alley, but it's just not.
I also didn't do anything bestow related either. I just it's
So I think mine would be, or I don't think I have a hate for any of the cards. I think any of the ultimatums just lackluster. They're just too expensive.
They're ultimatums, though.
I think it's relative though, right? I think it depends on like what you're playing and like
If you're playing a gyro deck,
because like
or not gyro, Dota.
it's not like you're struggling to get mana in Commander typically. I know. Well, I'm sorry. Most people, not you. Most people aren't like super struggling with mana, especially
decks
because
are very
games go.
temperamental.
Especially because games tend to go pretty long. And,
Yeah.
my decks are also temperamental, homie. I get it. I was playing a mono blue deck, and on like turn 11, I only had 6 mana, so I get you.
there's
But
go ahead, finish.
oh, I will.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And I'm done.
Okay, but no, I was gonna say the card that I really do not care for, is Janeth Matstrade.
Yeah.
I don't like it. It sucks. Well, that's not true. It doesn't suck. It's a
Is
very
that
good
from
card.
Ikoria?
Yeah.
That card needs to be banned.
It's literally.
I'll say it right now.
I don't think it needs to be banned.
I do.
I think you're right.
I do. It's more restrictive than anything else they've banned for being restrictive.
It doesn't have anything to protect.
Neither does Iona.
That's a giant angel with flying.
Neither does Paradox Engine. Paradox Engine isn't a Shroud card. It's something that's annoying. The whole point of the deck is to play your commander, and the ability to play something so early that stops you playing your commander with the ability to... Because, like, if we say that everything just isn't strong because you can remove it, that's not a great way of looking at
That's how I feel about it, though. But like the argument that I don't think it should be banned because of that, like I also don't think that like Iona should be banned, and like that's my opinion on that.
At its mana cost, it is too powerful for the set.
What's its mana
It's
cost?
only
3?
two.
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 One in
Yes.
white.
2, and I believe it's a 1/3. And
Yeah,
it
it's
stops
over.
you not only casting your commander, but casting anything that's not in your hand.
Yeah, so
So
graveyard
if I'm
shenanigans.
trying to play Muldrotha, you've wrecked my whole deck if I don't draw a removal card until I can play it. Like
It's very brutal.
I have to sit around and wait for any removal just to get your 2-drop card out while you sit there and play everything else. If I want to do any of the Emergent Ultimatum, can't do any of that. I can't Villainous Wealth.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I think that has the strongest case for pretty much. I would say that's in the top 5 cards I believe should be banned in Commander. They shouldn't have printed that card. At a higher CMC, I could agree with it. At 2, get it out of my format.
What do you think the good CMC would be?
4 or 5.
4 or 5?
5 on an enchantment.
The ability, no, 5 on a creature.
I say creature enchantment is still it would be hard to remove. It'd be annoying.
I think it should be enchantment.
Your commander strength is relative. The faster you can get your commander out, the weaker the commander option generally is.
Yeah.
Your ability to do it on turn 2 to shut me down from playing it. Yeah. All it does is it is a remove. It's a removal magnet. I'm forced to burn something on it, and it disproportionately affects everyone else at the table.
That's very true.
Yeah, you can still, if everyone couldn't cast from outside, that's fine. But the fact you can still cast your commander, but everyone else is punished for it, makes it a forced removal target no matter what. Because if you're playing a game where 3 people don't need their commander, they're not building real good commander decks, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, there might be a good stuff decks or something like that. But like your point, I have to agree. Hang on. Give me one second. Let me talk first.
I think he's just celebrating.
I'm just trying to get cell signal.
I'm like, I thought you were ready to be like, I want to talk. Like, no, I'm talking right now. Stop it. I'm swatting at you. I have to agree with you, Daniel, because like if I went first, for example, okay, turn 2 I drop that, it stops everyone unless they had like a turn 1 commander to bring out. How often do you see that? Right?
I'm playing Isamaru, Hound of Konda.
But like that's the thing, like you have to wait. Like if they had a higher CMC cost, then I could see it be more viable because people can people that have like the lower CMC commanders aren't punished as much.
Well, and that's what I mean. It's just like I said, you are forced to use removal on it, and every deck should run removal. I think people don't run enough removal in general.
Agreed.
But it's something that suddenly 3 players must remove, and if you're in any color that can protect it, then it's pretty bad. Like Leovold makes it so people can't draw. It's annoying for everyone else at the table, and Leovold was banned for that reason. Sure, Draneth is in the 99, but at the same time, it's not an absurd thing to think that you might play a turn 2 Draneth in an average game.
It happened to me last night.
Yep.
I was playing Braids and Connor was playing Joyra.
Yeah, like I said, just the ability to well, it also shuts down it shuts down Suspend, it shuts down just a lot of things that are fun, and that's kind of where I believe bans should be. I know we've gone way too far into the bans on it.
And also, like, fun is relative, which is something that we also understand.
Fun is relative, but I don't think anyone wants to play Commander without the ability to cast their Commander, or they play a different format.
I play a different format, exactly.
Right, so like I said, like it's just, at 2 mana, I believe it has too significant of a cost, and it's a...
Too insignificant, you mean?
Or too insignificant, yeah sorry. I believe it needs to be removed. It's a removal target, and there's no way to save your removal to, in Commander, if I have a Path to Exile, right? I can save it for a part that's opportune to me. I can wait till you swing a Blightsteel at me. I can politics with another player at the game with it. I'll remove this. You don't get that option with this card on the field because you have to remove it. It's basically a race to whoever can remove it first.
Yeah. Well, and that was the issue last night, which was nobody had the removal. And when somebody did get the removal, it was countered.
Yeah.
And also, so really what it took was that player dying.
Well, that's a card that's going to go in a lot of decks that people already have a problem with.
So, but just to put it into perspective, Draneth was inside a Stax deck.
Yes.
Correct?
But it's the same thing, though. Like, we weren't able to play our commanders. I was playing Tatiova, 25 lands on the board, which is how long that was out.
Oof.
And the way that Draneth was removed was by hitting the player who controlled it with 20 4/4 beasts from Rampaging Baloths.
Whoa.
Because apparently you're not supposed to play Simic Growth Chamber that way. I can play 6 lands a turn. I'm going to play Simic Growth Chamber and bounce it 6 times every turn.
It was pretty cool. It was pretty funny.
But yeah, so
man.
that's the... And that's the thing, and it got too out of control with the ability. It just goes into unfun kind of decks. That's going to go in, not unfun for everyone. I understand some people like stacks. I get it. But at the same time,
people.
like, this is going in, like, Grand Arbiter Augustin. This is going in Gaddock Teague, which is in my Gaddock Teague, and I think it should be banned. It's going in things like Lavinia. Like, there's...
Okay. I can see a point.
Yeah, not everyone's, like, putting it in just a deck that has white in it, Brian.
Like, the way I look at it is just that it shuts down not just, like, one architect. It shuts down a lot than just that. Like, if you're playing a Voltron-y deck, okay, that's based around your commander,
Shut down.
shut down. Okay, if you're playing Graveyard Strategy,
Shut down.
Okay, if you're
And that's
playing,
a lot of commanders.
I
You're
think
trying.
I think you guys just got to get better.
Rex
Oh my
Golos.
God! Oh!
It wrecks Golos entirely. Like, let me explain a situation. I played Open the Gates to go get it, and somebody flashed Aven Mind Sensor, and that was 100 times less annoying than the Drannith Magistrate that
funny.
they control.
That was a really good play.
Yeah.
It might be annoying for you, but it was a good play.
I remember someone played a Narset,
The
Nor-
blue one?
yeah, the blue one in Wheel and Deal, and then deal with
Yeah,
this.
so they were just doing what Leovold does.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I think, like I said, just the fact you're not punished in look at it from a standard design point. That's not bad in standard. You can't cast the companions. It stops that. But for our format, it just like breaks what you're supposed to be doing in the format.
That's true.
Entirely. And then, like I said, you can't cast anything. In Halden and Paco, it would make it so I can't cast any of the things from Exile.
Yeah.
Great.
No, not great.
That's fantastic.
Not great. That just means that I just swing at that player with Paco until they're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Because-
is
well,
exactly
that's-
what we did last night.
And that's exactly it. Like, it's just an aggro magnet, and again, it's dies to removal is not a justification for things not being too strong.
Like, I agree with you, Daniel, but at the same time, I don't like seeing things getting banned.
It's just cat food.
I think unhealthy things for the format, though,
Yeah.
should be banned. And, like, the things that restrict me, that's my biggest problem, is things that restrict me. If Drannith just made it more expensive to play things from outside of the game, sure. Or
Like
I
it
couldn't
costs
play
one
things
Yeah,
more.
like
without paying.
Athalia, taxing and everything. Yeah,
Or I
get
couldn't
that.
pay 0 like Lavinia does, right?
Yeah.
Sure, but like I said, this restricts me from playing the game.
Yeah. That's fair. Whoop.
Potentially.
Yeah.
So, but I have to agree with you with that.
Just gotta play
Yeah.
nothing but Eminence commanders.
I
Well, that's the
hope they bring that back. I
love Eminence.
really love the Eminence ability.
Yeah.
the solution to playing that is like just like something salty, like, oh, here's my Massacre Girl deck where I'm gonna make everything have -1/-1 and -10/-10 until everything's off the field.
Yeah.
Like there's
But once again,
some cards there's no way to play without salting the table, and this is one. Drannith Magistrate is a 2-drop salt the table card.
Yeah.
There's no downside to you, and you must remove it.
Just gotta add some flavor.
but once again, it comes down to the person and how they want to play the meta. Like if you're playing like more like a CEDH, okay, I totally get it.
I
Throw
could
in,
see it
but
being used when the companions were a big thing. So I can see it in standard stopping people from using.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
standard, it's fine. But let's look at it immediately. Wizards controls the Brawl format, and Wizards has removed it from Brawl. It's banned in Brawl for that reason.
Oh,
Because
it's banned in
yeah.
Brawl?
it was immediately banned in Brawl.
But think of
So
it.
why isn't it banned in Commander?
Because they are different rule groups.
Yeah.
The
Think of it
rules
this way,
committee
though.
does not control the Brawl list. Brawl is Wizards format.
Think of it this way, though. Okay, if they banned it in Brawl for that reason, and they intended it for Companion, with the rules changed for Companion now, where it's sorcery speed to pay 3 to put it to your hand and not to the battlefield, what should they do? Should they ban it outright now or
Would
not?
it still stop you from paying at 3 to bring it to your hand?
No.
No, you're not casting
You're not
it. You're just
casting
bringing it to
Oh,
your
yeah.
hand.
And then
Yeah.
you're casting
Yeah,
it from
so
your
then,
hand.
then with that point, then
So the effect, the intended purpose of it is moot.
null and void now,
Yeah,
right?
Well, and that's like I said, like
kind of a weird one.
the fact that it was immediately banned in Brawl means that like Wizards understood that like, okay, like this is
It's not.
unhealthy for this format.
Yeah.
This is not what it was designed for, because not every card, although pretty much every card was designed for Commander, not everyone is.
Yeah.
So that's why like some things do. We can all say that we don't want cards banned because I do agree with it, but
At the same time, we want a healthy community.
some things are inherently just not fun and like shouldn't be in the format and stuff. And that's like I said, a 2-drop remove the ability to cast my commander until I draw removal and then hope that you don't have an answer to my removal is not very fun.
Yeah, it's harsh.
On a positive note, can we just like take 1 second to talk about how gorgeous Genesis Ultimatum is? Love it.
It's beautiful.
That is one thing that I would like to note about the set is the artwork of the set and the style with all the crystals and stuff. I'm so down with, and
Yeah.
the comic book art I thought was an awesome idea, and I'm so stoked that they're bringing it back.
yeah.
I think that was a really cool addition to the art style of the game. Super happy about
I
it.
love the art, but at the same time, my personal feelings, aside, like on it, I hate it.
Why?
Because there's not a single book in it. I've looked,
These people don't
Every
read,
single
they
one.
fight.
but at the same time, I'm looking at some of the spoilers for Core 21, and there's a lot of stuff I can use to upgrade. So I'm fine with that. So I'll give it a pass.
Let me
for
have
now.
this.
Yeah.
But no, I really, really like the artwork in this set. I thought it was a really cool. I thought it was a really cool direction that they went into, and I also think that the development of Ikoria, since there's still a lot of potential there because they barely touched on it.
Oh,
and
they'll come back to the Ikoria plane for sure.
That's what I mean. Like, I think it's really cool that they've brought in this new plane. I think there's a lot of potential here still. I'm excited to see them do the other 3 color sets because you know they will.
Oh, they'll
And
have to.
They have to. But I think it's going to be really cool, and I'm excited to see them go back down that route.
I think we're getting. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say quickly, I'm pretty shocked that like Garruk wasn't more in the set. Like maybe I'm wrong that Garruk was, and I'm just forgetting because there's so many cards. But was Garruk over in Ikoria?
No, it's not a Throne of Eldraine.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So like, they've got to bring a set where Garruk, that's his whole thing.
This seemed like a
hunter.
very Garruk-y set, exactly, because he's a hunting
I'm
man.
pretty shocked that he wasn't featured in the set, but I think they have other plans for him now that like the curse is free.
Yeah,
and
he no longer has to hunt planeswalkers.
I think he's still gonna.
I think he might.
Old
have a
habits die
I
hard.
think he might go after one specifically.
Yeah,
but-
that's true. He doesn't
Lily.
seem very chill with Liliana.
So with the other, I know that we're getting close here, but with the other difference with the set, what is your opinions of the altered art Godzilla cards for different creatures?
Love it. I love it.
I feel very like about
Is
it.
it-
I'm happy that it wasn't. I'm happy that it was just like a bonus. You know.
Because the reason that I asked this is because I posted my Death Corona yesterday.
Yeah.
And there's some comments that they were not a fan, even though because they're like Godzilla shouldn't be on this plane. I was like, Godzilla technically was not on this plane.
Yeah.
It was just altered art that they teamed up with another studio.
Yeah. It was just for fun. And
Yeah.
like let's face it, I'm old. I grew up watching like the old Godzilla movies, Ultraman, all that stuff.
Yeah. Kaiju style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I saw this stuff, I was a huge fan of it. So it just seeing stuff like that where I can like literally just play these cards where I grew up from my childhood, from like watching on like TV and movies, you know, and
pretty
like,
fun.
Laserdisc. Yeah, it's fantastic.
I think it would be cool also if they did stuff where they had like humans be like superheroes or whatever. Like that could be cool.
They came out with the playmat,
That-
the card sleeves for it.
Yeah, that's why I
Like,
think it could be an option.
I don't see a problem with it. I think it's neat.
Yeah,
that
that's
they-
what I said.
that
I
they
like
are-
that it's like a bonus.
Yeah, they're doing those partnerships. I think that's really kind of cool and interesting, and it gives you different art styles that you can possibly go to.
But for me personally, like I said, don't mind that it's just a bonus. I feel very like neutral about it one way or another. I would
Yeah.
prefer just alt art cards.
yeah, I agree with you 100%.
So
my thoughts on it, now that I have a chance to talk.
great. It's
No,
your turn.
no.
So that's just keep talking.
Number one, I believe that the altar community is super thriving, and I think that this was their other way to acknowledge it and stuff,
Yep.
right? Because it is kind of cool. I don't think anyone had really gone the route of putting like Brian has a Darth Sidious, is it?
Yeah.
Darth Sidious Macias, the black one. And it just still says Macias, but I do like that idea of having the name and then in brackets under what it is, so that it's kind of cooler. It's like, oh, I'll play my Darth Sidious, but it's actually Macias. I think that's interesting. I initially did not like the Godzilla stuff in the slightest, and I still am not a big fan. But we talked to one of our friends from another Magic podcast, and his whole
Who?
it was the Turn One Sol Ring guys, and their whole take on it was that, like, just like Sherman said, that he loved these things from when he was a kid. Like, he grew up on these Godzilla movies, and it was just nostalgia to him. It was just, hey, this is something that I liked a lot, and it was really cool artwork. And seeing how happy it made him did really influence my decision on what I thought of them, because I didn't like them at first, but that's just not the kind of stuff I grew up on.
Well, you also thought they were that they were going to be on the plane.
Yeah.
You thought they were
Yeah.
going to be a named card.
Well, and
not
that's-
an altar.
Yes,
I
and,
like
and
that.
when we first had the info, when we talked about it exactly, I thought, I was like, why is Godzilla here? Like, this doesn't make sense. Right? So, like, it's I don't think
The
that they're
most
bad, and I
ambitious
think that it's
crossover.
kind of cool that they do that, because, like I said, then they've got, just like you were saying with the superhero ability and stuff, you can do crossovers with many different fandoms, because Magic is a very diverse and enormous community, and people are going to love different things, right? We can, maybe they'll team up with, like, Marvel and something and do, like, a big, like, Iron Man one or whatever.
For vehicles or artifacts. Yeah.
The way I see it, okay, is that people like myself that grew up on all this, we're in those positions now where we're in those leadership roles to make these decisions. So things that we're going to see more of these things where it's just a nostalgia factor. We're going to see more, like, if they do a partnership with, like, Nintendo, you know,
Oh my god.
like, or something like that, or, like, you know, something video game related. Maybe, like, it'd be interesting if they teamed up with something like a sports team, you know, and you have, like, that'd be silly, but
And that's just it. At the end of the day, it's a collectible card game,
Yeah.
right? And this is just something else to collect in the game. It doesn't break the game. It doesn't change the game in any way. It's no different than if I have an altered version of something.
Yep. Because I personally, I didn't care for Godzilla. I was not a Godzilla fan when I was young. I did not watch those old movies. I've watched
Same.
the newer ones. Hey, they're fun action movies.
Same.
They're cool. But
I'm not really a big action movie kind of guy. Like, I don't know, make a Super Troopers one, you have my attention.
the art though, talking about the art of the cards, fantastic.
yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
pretty
I
cool.
thought they were
Love
all
it.
cool.
Well, and I really like you were saying, the art. Like, those would all make really cool posters. Like I said, they're a great collectible addition, and they don't change the game in any way. That's what I like about them and stuff. Because I really don't like when they add extra things in that are. I don't like the idea of
They
an
feel forced.
Yeah, well, forced,
Or
but also
exclusive.
an exclusive. Like, hey, like, you can only get this card
Well,
if you buy the box.
There's
and,
one of those.
Huh?
There's one of those.
Which one?
The buy a box.
No, but that's what I mean. It doesn't change the game. The buy a box promos I'm totally fine with.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it's not like it's like a separate card. Like, if let's say that they took all these Godzilla themed cards, put them in a secret layer, and they were different cards you couldn't get in the
Then
set.
I would be
that
annoyed.
would be
I would be
like
annoyed.
that.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be a big fan of that. But when you look at it, and like I said, they're just alters. That's all they are. They're alters. They're cool versions, and that's one of the things I like about Magic the most. Is I really like sitting across from people, seeing them,
What is
seeing the
that?
cards that they're playing. Yeah, exactly. The Magic isn't just a game of numbers. It's also like a visual game
What?
of beautiful
I've been playing
art.
it wrong?
Yeah.
But the thing that I been looking at it now is that the lore of Ikoria and the lore of the Godzilla world, whatever that might be, is the humans are hunting monsters.
Yep.
They are trying to remove them so they're not destroying their cities that they've worked so hard to build. The lore makes sense from both sides. But yeah, I thought they were neat, these introductions on these different cards, and who knows what we might see in the future. I think that Wizards they're stepping up their game to deliver more.
I think
Sorry, I'm taking this one for a moment here. Commander is a format that's supposed to be self-expressive, and the more artwork that lets people self-express is the better and stuff, right? The more you say, hey, this is my unique thing, I like it. Like I said, the altars are great. I like anything that gives... Commander's supposed to be a fun game, and if you enjoy your Godzilla Commander more than the other printed one, power to you and stuff, right? I can still see what the card does. I like that it's an official card. Like, you don't have to... You're not ordering up a proxy of this, right? Like, this is an official card. It's official artwork, which means it's quality. There's quality in the arguable the card stuff, but there's also there's just quality in the art, right? Wizards, as much as we can complain about things that they do, they don't do half measures on the artwork.
They're definitely trying.
I was gonna say that they set an interesting precedent with this crossover, and I'm like I said, I'm really excited to see what they decide to do with it in the future. So,
I don't think I would not boycott or be salty with these partnerships, regardless of the cards that come out, because again, it's someone's childhood that's being printed on these cards.
And what is this game if not a game for children and a game that people grew up with?
Yeah.
And
we're all huge nerds.
Yeah, that's the point of Magic. We're all big dorks who like to play the game.
Do you like my card?
Well, like my son.
Here's my spreadsheet full of my deck stats.
But yeah, let's quickly end this off with, we're gonna do a 1 to 10 rating on C20 and Ikoria. Sherman, 1 to 10. What do you think?
On Ikoria Behemoth, just overall or just
overall set? Your thoughts, 1 to 10 on both the Commander and it in one rating.
I say probably a 9. It's pretty high. Especially if you're getting into Magic right now, now is the time. So,
Brian?
I would say probably a 7. I feel it's not bad. It's still a passing grade.
Good.
I feel that there was a lot to offer in this. I just don't think if I was looking at the set and the set alone, really big CMCs and not a lot of support for the other stuff that's in the set.
Hope.
I would say, can I grade them differently?
Sure.
Separately? I would say the set an 8 and the decks a 9. I think the decks were excellent, but I think the set was really good. An 8 is awesome. I really like this set, but I think that it had a little bit of room to grow, and I think that there was a little bit of too much focus put on some things and not enough on others. And I mean, it's a balanced set. Not every set's going to be perfect, but I think it was pretty solid.
If I scored the decks separately as well, I would put the decks a lot higher.
Okay, give me your deck scores, Sherman and Brian. Brian, go.
I'd probably go a 9 for the decks, because the decks, like you said, they're some of the more powerful decks that have come out, and they all had different things going on with them. They're all unique.
Yeah. For the decks, I would still say a 9. For the set, maybe 8.5.
I like the points.
Well, why not? Well, let's go back.
Okay, I gotta redo this again.
Just gotta throw that in the loop there. I always like seeing Magic. I like seeing people try new things and experiment with things. Okay, I look at I'm a big geek, especially with things like video games and everything. I look back and I think of things like Final Fantasy. They always try to redevelop or come up with a new concept, and they're doing this. Magic does the same. Wizards is trying to do the same thing. They're trying to come up with new concepts, new strategies, new abilities, and this just shows that their imagination's growing. So,
Daniel?
First off, haven't they released Final Fantasy VII 13 times or something like that?
No.
But the
Twice?
new one's so awesome.
Oh, it's the same as the old one.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's totally different this time. Anyways.
It's not the same.
Let's not rile up the geeks here.
I can talk about this stuff all day long.
Sherman, call me later.
I don't play the Final Fantasy games, so I wouldn't know.
Well, you should.
My grade is simple, 10 and 10. I hate Drannith Magistrate.
Oh my
Short of that,
God.
These are, like I said, some of the best Commander precons that have ever come out. They are the best to get into. I think out of any of them, sure Kali is stronger. Sure Atrax is stronger. There's stronger Commander options, but none of the decks I think are flat out as tuned as this. In Gavi, to change it, I think there's 10 cards that you can change to optimize it to the best cycling deck you can get. Like, you could put more, but it's just it's a great deck out of the box.
I think that's a really good point, because that's something that I was thinking about when you said that these are like the best decks. I'm like, okay, Atraxa.
Well,
but
that's
if
what
I
mean.
look at my Atraxa deck is nowhere close.
But
Right.
the thing is, did the Atraxa deck come out as almost as tuned as what these?
No, that's
were?
what I'm saying. My
Nowhere
Atraxa
near,
deck
right?
is not even
But
close
it's also
to
a
what it
four-color.
was.
And like I said, though, like
But Kalia,
some of these decks seem a little scattered with what they can do, but they all kind of support each other. They're pretty good.
the fun.
The decks aren't meant to come out and be played just like that. They're meant for you to choose the commander you like the most and play it that way. But like I said, I think that these are out of the box some of the best commanders. Like, I
Yeah.
think if you took any commander pre-con and tried to play them, I think that the Commander 20 decks would come out on top the majority of games.
I have to admit, though, with the Ikoria set overall, both the pre-cons and the set, for a player like deck brewer like me, like, I love these cards, but at the same time, it makes my life difficult because with the power creep that they had, it's harder to make janky decks that can compete because of the
Fair.
power creep.
That's a fair point. And then my ending point on Ikoria is that I think that they just had so many strict upgrades. Like, I can't remember the name of the card, but one is just cancel with cycling,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Neutralize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have that. They have
And
Wilt,
that's
which
like
is
an
just...
uncommon. isn't
Yeah,
it?
Wilt is naturalize with cycling. Migration Path is cultivate with cycling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I think it's explosive vegetation
Yeah.
cycling. So that's what I mean. Like, there's... I think overall it's good. I do agree that the point is that the power creep was real in this set, and we're not going to go into M21 right now, but it looks like it's continuing there.
Yep.
I don't think that they're going to be able to scale it back for Zendikar because Zendikar already had just strong mechanics. They're not going to not do Landfall again. Landfall was so
Landfall's
popular. Yeah,
so
like it's...
Omnath in
awesome.
a cave.
I just want some more Evolve, yo.
All Omnath in a cave will happen for sure. They're bringing me four
What if
color
they did
Omnath.
Omnath with wings?
No, that's the final form of Omnath. Omnath
You
Ascended,
don't know
5-color Omnath.
Omnath.
Yeah, it's
Oh my
He
god.
needs to get
that's funny.
cursed first
no,
before
it goes
Omnath in a cave.
It goes Omnath,
yeah.
Mad Omnath, Omnath in a river to cool down, Omnath in a cave, Omnath
It's a cool
Ascended.
super down.
Yeah.
Whenever
And then he becomes a
whenever
planeswalker.
whenever you play a land,
If
Omnath.
they
Omnath.
made Omnath a planeswalker, I would die.
Omnath-themed deck.
Whenever you play a land, Omnath drains each opponent 3 life, gains flying, gains double strike, and does 3 damage to any creature you control. Search your library for a land.
Don't listen to this
Omnath
wizards.
Ascended.
And put a flying counter on one creature and a trample counter on another creature.
Omnath's final landfall. Whenever a land enters, if you have 20 or more lands, all of your opponents give you their decks.
In real life.
Omnath in the
This is not
sky.
anti.
But yes, anyways, I'm gonna make it. It's getting there.
All right.
They're gonna print 4-color Omnath. I just don't know what one they're doing first. But he's got to go to a cave before he ascends. Come on, Wizards, what are you doing?
If he goes into the cave, then it's got to be the black. Because if he's going to be ascended, then he's going to be reborn. So that's got to be white.
Oh, yeah.
So so it's got to be the black in the next color.
Or-
That's why I was saying he has to be cursed first.
Or
Like Garrett.
hang on here.
Or
They could do Omnath Ascended first, and then Omnath Risen from Death.
Omnath like Forsaken.
Ooh.
Oh.
Dark Omnath? Yo, if they did make Omnath, if Omnath did collect enough mana to become a Planeswalker, and that would be...
But
Hilarious.
that's the thing. You have
Wizards,
the 4 color
listen
and
to
the
me.
5th color and then the Planeswalker.
Planeswalker Omnath?
Planeswalker Omnath would be the dumbest thing in the world.
+1 search for any basic land?
I want it, but
You know what would be dope?
Planeswalking Omnath.
The ult to put
Universe
all
Devouring
lands-
Omnath can be your commander.
the alt is put all lands from your deck onto the battlefield.
Imagine this.
Alt
Okay.
4.
Imagine.
That's 1 second. Sorry. That's not an unrealistic ult
I
for
know.
something like that because Nissa brings all your forests.
I
true.
know.
But what if?
Nissa. He eats Nissa in Zendikar.
What if you had
Good.
5 color Omnath, but its ability instead, like it has like 5 different abilities, flying, trample, and all that stuff, one for each color.
Multi
But-
landfall.
No. When it
Shut
dies, it splits up into like
Into
2
5
twos or 1
Omnaths.
ones. Yeah, into 5
Deathfall?
different Omnaths, one of each color.
That'd be pretty cool.
I would
Put a
totally play
1/1
that.
Little
one-
oozes?
Go,
Yeah,
power,
little oozes.
Little
Omnath.
elementals. I wonder if there'd be okay, so if we have these 5 elementals, is there a way to like
Should we
Zip
do
them
a
back
whole
together?
episode on Omnath?
Yes.
Omnath predictions?
Yes. Omnath
Okay,
predictions.
so that means that this conversation.
Fine.
No, we can't finish
can't
it.
do
But yeah,
that.
like I said, they're
Can't
not
do
gonna
that.
they're not gonna scale Zendikar back. Like
They best not.
they have realized that Commander players are all their proverbial cash cows.
Yeah.
That we're all, no matter what price they're gonna put things out, we're gonna go get them.
Whoa.
No, you're going to get them. I have no more money.
Oh, boo hoo! Double Masters is $400. Like, I'm not gonna buy it for the mana crypts. I get it. Wink, wink. We know.
That's besides the
Those
point.
collector boosters, they're reaching for the sky on those ones.
They're crazy.
Ooh.
$100.
$100, yeah. That better come with an EDH deck. They partner with Dragon Shield. It comes with some sleeves,
Good.
No.
sleeves and a sidewinder.
Those sleeves best be like 2 karat
Gold
gold or
filigree
something.
sleeves?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want them.
These sleeves are legal tender.
All right, guys, we're getting off topic.
But yeah, like I said, the I think overall strong set. I think that I think that minus Drannith Magistrate, it's very good. I could talk a whole episode of why I hate that card, and I pretty much did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do see from Sherman's point of it does make jank a little harder, right? It's
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
it makes budget a little harder, although they're more budget friendly cards, but you're powering up the budget decks, which is not what every budget player wants.
True. Very accurate.
Yeah, like this set literally makes it harder to lower the arms race with friends. So, and that's like, in my opinion, that's how you lower the arms race. You start playing janky decks, you start playing decks like that, and people see how much fun you're having, and they start lowering it. That's the only reason why I started my book tribal.
I
So-
actually made a dumb deck because of you.
Yay!
Sherman's dumb decks just lure us into like a
it's
lull,
fun.
and then he just comes out with like this really bad thing.
Nice.
Hey guys, I made Locust God.
Hey guys, it's Sherman here. I'm here to ruin your day.
Last thing before we say goodbye, I'm gonna commission Megan just to do Omnath at a cave and then Omnath Ascended,
She
and
would
just
love to.
start emailing it to Wizards every day until I'm blocked. Wizards, hear me out.
The thing is, I'm sure she would do like such a silly art for you, and it would just be chef's kiss.
Maybe I'll just do that. I'm not a big fan of people creating their own commanders, but maybe I'll make Omnath in a
Pretty
cave.
cool.
You should do it.
Play my Omnath in a cave deck.
So before we end this, for our website into99.com, we do have some new articles up by some
Oh,
of our
and new writers. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. There's so much to talk about with this. First off, welcome to all the new writers. You've done amazing
Yeah.
jobs. I really am looking forward to seeing more of it and working with you guys. I'm loving the content you guys are making.
Yeah, so shout out to MTG Command Tax, Gathering the Magic 97, and Casual Jake. So this week we have Eric came in, or MTG Command Tax, Benefits of Brewing, Rethinking Your 99.
Yep.
That was actually posted so this morning, Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday morning when we record.
And then we have Hayden, or Gathering the Magic 97, on Instagram. Can you effectively transition from modern to EDH?
A really
E-
interesting takes that some of the Commander players might not have thought about.
And that might actually be worth an episode in the future.
Yep.
Yeah, these are
Bring 'em on.
some really interesting reads. We'd highly recommend. We also have a bunch of other blog posts up and articles by our
Yeah, make sure you check the
our
site out.
by our hosts as well as our other guest writers. So I definitely recommend if anybody wants to go give a read to those, it's into the99.com. As well as everybody should know by this point, we stream every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and
Yeah, if you want to come on and play with us, get a hold of Brian on Instagram
Yes.
or Facebook. Brian schedules the games. If you want to come beat up on me and
Sorry, my
show me
brain's
that
not
my decks
working.
aren't good, definitely do it.
We love
I'll
that.
play some silly stuff.
we highly encourage it.
You
So
gotta
yeah,
play
reach
first,
out to reach out to us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or our Discord, and we'll see you guys next week.
New episodes every week, guys. Thank you for
Woo-hoo.
listening.
All right.
Peace.
Catch you later.